Good evening, everybody. This is Crazy Chris, and you were about to join us live on Sunday Night Madness right here on GeekPublicRadio.com in the historic Union Building in downtown Anderson, Indiana. We're going to have a cool show for you tonight, the UFO show, as we promised you a couple of weeks ago. We got T in the building. We got Topher ready to talk about all the extraterrestrial goodness you can possibly handle. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Crazy Chris, and sitting next to me on my right is the lovely, the beautiful, the insatiable Tenacious Tea.
Hi.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well done. And then across from me, as always, kicking the jams, doing the research, changing the camera angles, making us look goofy. We got Topher, the engineer, and also known as the Paranormal Hobo. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Perfect. I love it. We are in your televisions. We are on your computer screens. We are taking over your cell phones. We are, just like the HAARP project, in the atmosphere. That's right. You like that? It just slid right in there. Just like a
so
creepy dude in the DMs. Just
so
right
romantic.
in.
It just makes no sense.
Okay, so it has been 3 weeks. I'm sure people are anxious and interested to find out exactly what we know about UFOs, which, by the way, is nothing. Just so you guys know, we know nothing about UFOs. There's zero possibility that we are lizard people.
Are they even real?
That's right. They cannot possibly be real because we are singularly the most intelligent life that has ever existed in the universe. Duh. Which is what most scientists would want you to believe. But we don't do that here.
No. We let you think for yourselves.
I know it's a dangerous concept.
You just
it's
left
radical.
me hanging. I was so ready
sorry.
for that moment.
Hold on. Can we
built
redo this?
It up and
Take
I was
two.
ready.
Take two. Chris, can we take two? Take two. Okay, ready? We let you think for yourselves. Conspiracies. There we go. Nailed it. I like that one. Use take two. Radical concept. We know, everybody. It's a radical concept. It's a difficult thing to do, especially in a day and an age where you are force-fed information at a rapid pace at your fingertips. Your very fingertips will allow you to view and access information at a moment's notice. But around here, we'll just give you the information. We're not going to tell you how to think. We're not going to tell you what's real and what's not. You're going to hear it. We're going to tell you where we got it from. And you guys can do what you want with it. Ooh,
Scary monsters.
Ooh, information, facts. Oh no. Nobody cares about facts. That doesn't sell anything. All right, so aliens abducted Bigfoot and sent him to Atlantis, which is located in the Bermuda Triangle, and then the Loch Ness Monster came and took them to Scotland.
Did they piggyback?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a saddle involved, I believe.
Okay.
And about $350.
And about $350.
Okay.
was the cab fare. Those are all real things that are confirmed on this show. We are the source of those things.
Facts.
And $350.
Take that, Wikipedia. Which, by the way, I did find out something really fun about Wikipedia, by the way.
What's that?
Did you know that anything spoken in video format cannot be used as a source on Wikipedia? It has to be in written format. So I could tell you that I love you, right? But if I tweet that I hate you, that is a sourceable thing that they can put in my Wikipedia page. Like, it's Crazy Chris hates tea. Even though that's not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and just the fact that anyone can update it. So
yeah, which is why fans of the show, scholars out there, self-ascribed.
That make us holler.
Yeah, that's right. Scholars that make us holla. Self-ascribed geniuses of the internet that probably didn't make the top 10 list we covered a few episodes ago. Wikipedia is not a universally accepted source of information for a variety of reasons.
It's never an accepted source.
like, who checks that? Like, who?
Nobody.
It's a good spot to start, but it is not a good spot to source.
No, you go there and then you see what sources.
See all the resource, and then you click on the bottom
go through the sources and you judge the sources.
You verify the sources. That's pretty much it. It's literally a stepping stone to get you into the pool. It's the first step into the wading pool, but a lot of people take that first step as gospel truth. That's a really bad idea. We try not to do that around here. Although I do confess there are a couple things that I used Wiki to source material to make sure that I was given the correct information when we're talking about these UFOs. However, I will not quote Wikipedia as being the source because that's not what it is.
I mean, there's been a few times where I wanted to go on and like edit this stuff myself. We've all been lazy. Like, I wanted to go on there, you know.
Listen,
you can.
Listen here,
Tom
Wikipedia.
Cruise was born, and I wanted to go in a mound of trash. Tom Cruise enjoys skydiving, and I wanted to go off of sofas. I really wanted to enter like all that information in there.
Into piles of trash.
Piles of rubbish.
Rubbish.
Bits.
I met me an Australian man, by the way, yesterday, or actually this morning as I was leaving work.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was very much an Aussie. Initially, I mistook his accent for English. I'm usually pretty good at accents. Mm. So it was funny because I said, "What part of the island are you from?"
Wow, how did he take that?
He laughed because Australia's an island.
Yeah.
And then he told me he was from Melbourne.
He was from Melbourne.
Yep. And I was like,
"Oh, was he good looking?"
Yeah.
I mean, he was tall.
Right there.
Oh my goodness. Really? What was his name? Did you get his last name? Did you get the name?
John.
Well, why is he here? What's he
Anderson.
Here for? I know, but why is he here? What's
Smith.
he here for?
He goes by Jazz for short.
now you're confused. Yeah.
He kind of looked like Lurch. Like he was a big, tall dude.
You know what I find?
Like he didn't have to bend over the sink to wash his hands. Like he just dropped his arms into the sink and was like.
I don't want to make this generalization, and I'm not going. It's not. I don't want anyone coming after me. But
this is an offensive show. Be offensive.
But I've never met an Aussie man with a deep voice.
His was actually, it was sufficiently deep.
I'm like curious now.
Well, it's because a lot of them like to chuck like this.
Yeah, and it's like really like.
Oh, we got a sailor here doing trips and flips and flippy shit. Well, in fairness, Aussie Man is like the most popular, probably one of the most famous.
Flippy shit.
Flippy shit. Look at that UFO right there. It's just doing some flippy shits.
I'm like, it's stabby shit.
He's doing a little bit of roundabout, flippy stabby. Right roundabout there to the Sealers.
Anyway.
Sealers down. And a kangaroo doing a hibbity hop, and it's over.
All right. Thank you.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Is that, please don't ever do that. Do not ever say that to an Aussie when you meet one.
It is called a Barbie, just so everybody knows. It is called a Barbie.
Oh my God, Americans! I swear, America.
Oh, speaking of Americans, by the way, before we get into UFOs, let's talk about the extraterrestrials that already fucking live here.
Okay.
Tell us about the Southern gentleman you had the pleasure of talking to, who you are now in love with. So
country accents. I think I've brought this up on the show before. Lots of times, like UK, when you ask someone from the UK to imitate an American accent, it is most often
the Southern twang, or
it's always like a country.
Or I'm from Texas, guns and belts, dur.
Yeah, and I've had like several friends like, "Hello, I'm John Wayne." Like, I mean, just and several people like for real. So, and there's still country accents, and even though like at work or whatever, if I'm with my friends and I use an American accent, still when I hear it, it's still just like. It's still like such an accent to me. So I called to make my reservation I'm going diamond hunting on Monday at the Crater of Diamonds. And I just told the world what I'm going to be. But I had to call to make this reservation, and
Well, you're going to be with like 35 people, so
Okay.
you'll be fine.
So this fellow named Len answers the phone, and he has the thickest, the hardest country, southern, whatever accent I've ever heard
I ain't
in my
getting
life.
that now on that computer there,
I
Shug.
cannot even imitate it because it was so strong. But I was just getting so excited about it because I'd never heard anything like it before in my life.
The
And
recounting of the story is the best part, by the way.
So,
I'm sure the conversation
like, yeah.
was probably pretty
So,
normal.
No, but it was, so I called and I asked. I was like, well, I'm supposed to be coming out there on Monday, and I really want to reserve a spot. And like, do you guys have tent sites? He says, well, how long is your RV? I was like, it's not an RV. A tent. He's like, well, we sure do have tent sites. We got tent sites. He's like, okay. I said, well, what do I need to do to make a reservation? He said, well, you're just going to have to give me all your information. You're going to put a credit card on file, but you don't have to make a deposit. I said, a what? He said, a deposit. And I was like, okay. So what do I need to do? He's like, okay, so you're going to give me all your information so I can put it on there and make you one of these here reservations. He said, but you're going to have to bear with me because I'm 51 years old and I don't know how to use a computer. My wife, she just now started teaching me how to enter those letters on that computer. He said, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit here, Sunlight.
That sounds like a lizard man to me. I'm
And
just
I was
throwing
like,
it out there.
I was like, he called me Sunlight. I was so excited. And so he's like, and you can tell he's like typing like, what? So I'm giving him my information. And then he's like, okay. He's like, so he gets me all set up. And then what does he say? I told Chris like all about it.
Something about Shug.
He's like, all right. He said, so I got all your information in here. Is there anything else I can help you with, Shug? I was like, he called me Shug. I can't wait to meet you. Like, I'm so in love with you, like, right now.
I'm 51 years old there, Shug. I don't know how much of this here body I can give
It
to you.
was like everything I ever wanted. Like, it was all the
Man's
things
going to be made
ever,
out of leather.
Right. It was everything I'd ever seen in a movie.
He's going to have a swamp boat business.
Right.
Feeds pet gators in
I
his
know.
backyard.
I know. Wait. Then proceeds.
By
to
the way,
tell me-
these are all intentionally harmful stereotypes for Southern people. You're welcome.
Well,
Smell like
so-
Old Spice.
You take that back.
No,
Old
that's
Spice and leather.
his Coca-Cola right here.
Oh my God. It's Merv's fault we have cinnamon Coke.
You guys. Well, no. So he proceeds to tell me that he lives on the campsite, and that I was gonna be safe, and if I didn't feel safe, the sheriff who owns the camp is right behind the tent site, and if anything goes wrong, to let him know, and they sure was gonna take care of it. And I was like,
You know, the sheriff, I heard down there tell the sheriff is about 6'4", about 265 pounds, made of real American muscle. Right? And he's got steel corded ribs that come down into like a xylophone shape on his abdomen, right? That he gets hung off, though, on like a whole foot long apparatus that comes down from the middle of his body in the groinal area. And his cockles are the size of grapefruit.
it's like RoboCop. Like, what
He
are
got
you telling me?
39 kids with like 38 different women because he can't settle down.
Oh, no, I did not tell you the best part.
Uh-oh.
So
There's a best part?
There was a best part, like, because this is what got me hooked. Was like when he answered
Throwing the
phone.
towel on the seat
He answered the
that
phone.
after he told me the story was probably the best part.
I'm sorry, but like he like so when he answered the phone, you could tell there was like a loud rustling and stuff, and I was like, okay, what's he doing? He's like, oh, okay, hold on. He was like, thank you for calling Murfreesboro RV Park. This Lynn. You hear anything? And I was like, okay, like, you know, I had questions and whatever. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, I'm going to have to go on ahead on inside into the building. He was like, I'm out here smoking this meat.
Oh.
What are you doing? He's like, I've got the smoker going and I'm smoking this here hog and I'm like, No lie. And I was like, and so like
I'm actually hungry now.
So
I know,
like
right?
I was at the end of the
Birds
conversation
RV park,
because
meat smoking
real-
business campsite.
for real, because he mentioned
Swap boat
the
sales.
smoker and the meat like smoking like 3 times, and I was like, I'm starving.
We're gonna go get some pulled pork right after this.
At the end of the conversation, I was like, so, you're smoking meats. So is that like community, like
Community meat.
eating? Is it community meat? Like, do we get to have some of that smoked
Is his
meat?
meat community property? Is that what you're asking him?
He started, so he started cracking
Shout
up.
out Steel Panther. Thanks, guys.
He started cracking up and he's like, I'll be sure to smoke some meats when you're here. That's what he was like, I'll be sure to smoke some meats when you're here, Suge. Oh God!
Oh my God!
I was
See,
living,
and it's things like that just make me not want to meet aliens because
yeah. I mean, that was so like
they're
alien to me. 'Cause
part
just
of me
no one
feels
here.
like because we're so universally separate on like our language. There's over like 500 different languages that are spoken in the world. I think it's more than that.
There's a picture of the sheriff that lives behind the thing.
Show T.
Don't make me fear for my life,
Fear for your life. Get the hell out.
America.
Get out. Get out.
Anyways, speaking of something that was pretty extraterrestrial.
Yeah, cinnamon Coke, by the way, don't try it. It's terrible. It's
I
don't can you even see my eyes on this? It looks so bad.
Yeah, no, your eyes are like bright and shiny. They stand out.
Gotta get it real big. Don't do cinnamon Coke.
went
It's terrible.
and
Awful.
I thought I was getting a cherry Coke.
It does really look like a
It
cherry
does,
Coke.
like,
It is.
it
It
does.
was like around the same.
I thought
the
when you
label was
grabbed
the
it, I
same
thought it was
color.
cherry Coke.
This label is roughly the same color, and
And
I-
it's
I
probably
just-
like that's like
It's
a
probably
mauve.
the April Fool's
it
joke.
has to. It's
Oh my God.
it's got to be. And
Well,
they
let me
just
see the
left it there.
expiration date on this bad boy here.
I've never been so. I've never been more insulted in my life. Guaranteed, they're gonna start.
I'm gonna break
making
your heart.
sweet potato casserole.
It expired last year.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Congratulations, you are drinking an expired Coke on
You-
top of a disgusting.
For the record, you had way more than I did.
And it's on the TikToks. If you want to see like the proof
Facts.
and like them drinking it,
Yep, go check out our TikTok page.
TikTok,
so
yeah.
if you are on the Geek Public Radio website, you can actually see access. You can get access to the TikTok. You can get the Discord. Access to all of our archival footage.
and we have it all
the
up
cool
so we
stuff.
can.
Yep, and we've got it all pulled up. Like I've got mine set up over here. T forgot her laptop again, so she can't talk to you, but I will talk vicariously through her to you, or through me. She will talk vicariously through me to you. There we go. I had it backwards, but it's close enough.
I mean, I still have the S21
She
Ultra.
does. She is over there
I
on her
do.
super fancy internet
I
phone.
do. I love that.
What's funny is once again, I buy a new phone, and they immediately release the next
The
step
next generation phone, yeah.
4 days later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. And when you go in and you buy your phone, like you'll ask them, like, oh, well, when's the new phone coming out? And they're like, well, we don't know. Yeah, you do. Shut up.
Right?
You know exactly when it's going to be on the shelf. They have to tell you because
You have to put it
You
there.
have to put it there. You have to make room for it. Like they'll have a big thing, like it's like the S21 that was about to come out when I got my phone.
Yeah, because I got mine like shortly right after
Right,
you.
it was like a week or two after. They actually had a spot cleared out for the S21. They had all the stands and signage up, right? And I was like, so when's the S21 come out? And they're like, oh, we're not sure.
Like, you
And
just
I
don't
just-
want to give.
I literally just stared at him and I was like, I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to buy the brand new Ultra Mega phone because it's going to be $400 more than it should be.
Right.
So I'm not doing that. But don't lie to me. Just tell me you just be like, that's like 4 or 5 days.
Look at that.
That's a super
That's
cute
with
photo.
that's with a dirty lens.
Oh, I know. I've taken some great photos with my phone.
That's
and I'm
with
actually
the 100 times zoom, 108 megapixels.
yeah. You can look at the moon.
Just saying.
Like you can actually see the definition of the moon. It's insane. They probably can't see that on the.
Yeah, all it is a big white ball.
It's a big white ball.
I
It
can
looks
see-
like crap. It
I
actually
can
looks like
see-
you took a shitty
I
picture.
could actually maybe if I put this on the side. Look, I'm illuminated by the moon.
Oh, for crying out loud. We're done. All right, wrap it up. We're going home. See you guys later. Everybody watching this is familiar with the show's like, that's his line? That's where he stops. Okay. All right, so...
Well, no, like what you do is you stand up and put your butt here, and then she could be illuminated by the moon.
For real. He's got a mooner on him, y'all.
I'm already whited out.
Don't
Let's
do
see
it.
how bad
Don't
this
do
will
it.
get.
Don't do it.
You think this is white. You haven't seen the rest of me. There are parts of my body that haven't seen the sun in 30 years, I would say, but probably close to 30 years. So that's an interesting thing to consider there for a minute. So you want to talk about white? I'm looking at a currently white background screen because they're pretty unoriginal.
Yeah, so that's
about that
like
color.
Uber washing, the screen is washed you out.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty bad. So hang on, see if I can't even get to anything that's not.
Can you adjust the light
There
or
we go.
the brightness level of your screen?
I probably could, but that takes effort, and I have to find stuff.
It should be a key.
I know. I see it on here somewhere. There it is. I found it. God, you guys are such crybabies.
I don't ever have that problem.
It's because you're British. All right, so okay, UFOs. We're gonna get into the UFOs. The title of the show, Chris, is UF Oh No, because I think that's stupidly funny. I'm probably the only one, but I don't really care. So, if you guys want me to start, I'm more than happy to do so.
We'll kick this pig.
All right. T told me to do a thing, right? And you told me specifically because we were talking about conspiracies and all the different crazy things that are happening on the planet and the different weather phenomenon and the UFOs. No, it's conspiracies. Anyways, we were talking about all the different things that are a result of that, and she says, look up HAARP. Mm-hmm. So I did. I looked it up. I did some research into it, and I was like, this is super interesting. And I have saved and bookmarked these websites so I can reference them when I'm talking about HAARP.
Okay.
So, first of all, one of the websites that I'm going to mention is a very obvious conspiracy website. Okay.
It's probably called conspiracy something.
Conspiracywebsite.com. No. However, this conspiracy website does source actual information. So this is all a matter of public record. These things are pulled from public record. They're pulled from news agencies. And then it's compiled together to present to you a conspiracy-based format, which is precisely what a conspiracy theory is. A conspiracy theory is literally just a group of people who get together and theorize about a particular thing that they don't have necessary proof over, which is why it's called a conspiracy theory, not a conspiracy fact. If it was a conspiracy fact, we'd know who killed JFK.
Well, actually, if you talk to certain people, they say that the conspiracy theories actually were coined by the CIA in order to discredit those who were spreading that information. They're conspiracy theories.
Of course it is. Well, conspiracy theory has a very negative moniker.
Right, and it
has an intentionally negative moniker. And when you hear somebody say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory," well, everything is a conspiracy theory if more than one person is talking about it. Mm-hmm. Literally, if the three of us
here,
right,
so we are full
technically
of conspiracies.
If we were to sit here right now and go on record, well, technically not on record because it's not a sourceable material, but if we were to go on, live on camera and say that we believe the Queen of England is not a lizard person, but rather, ready? A centipede in human form, then that is a conspiracy theory. Would you agree with that? Do you think the Queen is a centipede, really wrapped up in human form?
I'd have to see more pictures of her.
Right. So, what about you, T? Would you be willing to concede that that's a possibility? Like maybe we should look at some pictures and find out if that's an actual thing.
I mean, as soon as it becomes a possibility, it becomes
a conspiracy. Congratulations. We just started a conspiracy theory. See, guys, it's that easy. It's literally that easy. So now there's a conspiracy theory, and I can't wait to be labeled a conspiracy theorist show. It's going to be super fun.
I totally think she's a Slovene, but that's just me.
That's fair. Okay.
Shout out to the Doctor Who fans out in the audience.
So this website is called wanttoknow.info. The side ribbon literally is just full of topics that are rife with conspiracy theories. We have secret societies, the sex trafficking rings, forbidden knowledge, the veil. So there's lots of stuff. 9/11. It's all on here. But one of the
I have a
topics
feeling
is,
the veil is the ghost story.
I think so too. I think that's pretty much. I haven't clicked on anything.
Or
This is-
Veronica's veil.
When we first started, I said, "Somebody stop me! I'm about to click down the black hole." This is why I was like, "Oh, it's all right there."
He's going down the rabbit hole.
I really was. And I have to be careful too because a lot of this stuff is entertaining to me. I don't retain it as fact. It's entertaining, and that's what we're doing right here. We're presenting to you some entertaining information, and it's rooted in truth, so you guys can have some fun with it. But HAARP is a weather control phenomenon. It was a literal facility in Gakona, Alaska, and it stands for high frequency active oral research program. There's another one, it's a high altitude research program, or reference program, or something like that. But that's HAARP, not HAARP. There's a difference between the two, and it's weird how they rebranded one after the other one shut down. So that way, when you Google HAARP and you don't know it's got two A's in it, you'll pull up the one they want you to see, not the one they're trying to hide. But anyways, it shut down by the military in 2013. Essentially, it was a military defense project that was designed to be able to utilize radar technology, infrared, and extreme heat signatures to thwart those particular systems. That's what the official designation was. But if you dive down a little bit further, the things that it did do was give rise to electromagnetic weaponry, which can have quite the devastating effect on everything. It also was able to, and this is all fact. I promise this is actually fact. This HAARP existed. HAARP is real. It was an entire 33-acre antenna array that was specifically utilized to beam energy into the atmosphere. That is why it has the name that it does. It utilized sound at such high frequencies and vibrated so quickly that it was able to generate heat. They were able to place heat in the atmosphere and disturb it. So, a lot of your weather control phenomenon, people blame HAARP because there are literal documents from the Air Force, from NASA, and from other places that ask the question, what are HAARP's, like what else can it do? Basically, they were theorizing that
So
it
HAARP
was possible.
is responsible for climate change.
It could possibly be so because in 1996, that particular topic started to gain a lot of traction, which is exactly when the Air Force released a document called Owning the Weather by 2025. And that was a research project. Hang on, I have it right. Yeah. That was a research project that was, excuse me. Beg your pardon. This is actually on Web Archive. You can look this up right now. It's weather as a force multiplier. By 2025, it is presented to the Air Force by, and I'm going to list the names that are on this document: Colonel House, Lieutenant Colonel Neer Jr., Lieutenant Colonel B. Shields, Major Celentano. There we go. Major Husband, Major Mercer, and Major Pugh. This was done in 1996, and it was done strictly as a propositional piece. So it was a speculative piece, rather, in that they theorized that through certain control and certain instruments that they would be able to utilize weather effects to create a dominant war market. It was a thing that they theorized. Shortly after that, and it was even kind of before that too, the world started to take notice of this. This is what you need to know about HAARP and legitimacy is that, like I said already, it was real. It's a real thing. The European Union specifically actually listed HAARP, and this is what they said, to quote, "It isn't just conspiracy theorists who are concerned about HAARP. The European Union called the project a global concern and passed a resolution calling for more information on its health and environmental risks. Despite those concerns, officials at HAARP insist that the project is nothing more sinister than a radio science research facility. This was actually given by Canada CBC, or the Canada Broadcasting Channel, which is in fact a state-owned broadcasting company. However, it is utilized in Canada as a legitimate source of ongoing information. So that I'm looking at that right now. There's an entire video documentary from the CBC about HAARP, and you guys can watch that. It's personal. It's on personalgrowthcourses.net is actually where I'm at looking at it. But yeah, so the HAARP Weather Control Project is speculative, but it was definitely more than just theory in the things that they were able to do. So, in essence, back in 1987, a patent was issued to Dr. Eastland. Dr. Eastland utilized this patent as a method and apparatus for altering a region in the Earth's atmosphere, ionosphere, and or magnetosphere. And that was, as I stated, specifically engineered to alter the way the atmosphere responds to energy. You can think about that however you want, but the applications to that are extraordinarily dangerous, and if left unchecked, that could lead to some pretty devastating effects. And maybe they have.
Well, I
maybe
mean,
that is a result of what we've seen.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that you look at, like it gets presented as a paper, end up becoming a DARPA project.
Yeah.
So, in one shape or another. And then it doesn't hurt the fact that there are in a neighborhood like 38 different patents on file with the patent thing.
Yeah.
About weather manipulation.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is, like I said, a lot of this stuff is impractical theorization. So our technology is thin enough at this level to not be able to effectively. This is the official documentation, says that we are not capable of radicalizing or altering the weather in any way. But 25 years ago in 1996, they definitely thought we could do so. So
it said weaponizing the weather, whatever, in like 2025. Is that what it said?
Yeah. So the paper specifically, notice the Wayback Machine, by the way. That's actually the name of the archive that keeps these papers is called the Wayback Machine. But yeah,
don't mess with the guy with the Wayback Machine. I'll go back and make sure you want more.
The system. Why would we want to mess with the weather? So this is actually on page 3 of this document that was written. Page 3. There was a quote I had saved here. According to General Sullivan, who is a former Army Chief of Staff, he said, as we leap technology into the 21st century, again, this was done in 1996, mind you, we will be able to see the enemy day or night in any weather and go after him relentlessly. So you can see that there were tactical benefits to being able to manipulate specific areas of the world to cause a daylight a daylight phenomenon, right? Where you would be able to, boom, the sun is shining even though it's not the sun. But you could utilize, even today, we currently have the technology to... Sorry, we just had like the weirdest thing happening here. But we currently have the technology to reflect using solar umbrellas and using solar shields on our satellites. We can reflect the sun's rays wherever we want around the world. We don't do that because I believe it's some type of violation, like there's a UN violation or something like that, or space treaty violation. I don't remember what it was.
You can't put weapons in space. Violation.
Right, but that's the thing. We can do that. And that is a known quantity that we have. That is a known tactic that we can use, but don't. So to suggest that we can't control some aspect of the weather might seem a little bit more ridiculous a claim than saying that we don't. Or saying that we don't control the weather or don't have the capability is a more ridiculous claim than saying that we do.
I saw a meme that says if you can control the winds in Africa, then
you can bless the rains.
Yeah, if you bless the rains in Africa, there's more hurricanes than at the United States.
But yeah, so it's there. Like I said, there are lots and lots and lots of things about this. The UN General Assembly was actually forbidding countries from investigating weather disruptions. Not weather disruption, but investigating ways to cause weather disruptions. Sorry, I have to make this claim correctly. But yeah, Even Dr. Eastland, when he was making this, the temperature of the ionosphere has been raised by hundreds of degrees in these experiments.
Bless it.
Beg pardon. Good God. A means and method is provided to cause interference with or even total disruption of communications over very large portions of the Earth. The invention could be employed to disrupt not only land-based communications, both civilian and military, but also airborne communication, sea communication. It can be used as advantage for positive communication and eavesdropping, spying. Exceedingly large amounts of power can be efficiently produced and transmitted. Laser.
I have to interject. Okay.
Laser.
Interjection. Interjection.
cannot.
Interjection.
I can't take it anymore. Okay. So.
I was waiting for you. I'm sitting here rattling off.
I thought
Facts.
you were.
These are facts.
I thought you were learning us what you've learned. So
I am. I've learned that they've done some really
HAARP.
crazy crap.
All right, guys.
Bring it
So-
on, T. Let's go.
HAARP is probably the main reason that got into conspiracies in the first place. But I like to consider myself a conspiracy factualist first and foremost. Anyways, so what really got me interested in it was when I don't know how I came across HAARP, but I started watching it and I had read something, and it was an official document from the government where they are talking about creating a fake alien invasion and a fake rapture, like the return of Christ. And I was like, what? And there I went down the rabbit hole. And then I spiraled out of control. Tons of nights, sleepless nights. Okay, that's when I became
I can't believe the government would do this.
an insomniac. That's when I became a legit insomniac. So anyway, so I read these documents that I did see, and you can find those online and with lots and lots of blacked out areas.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
But also, Jesse Ventura did a show, and it was either True TV or Truth TV, where he went to the HAARP facility. And that's actually where I saw it first. And he went to the HAARP facility when they wouldn't let him in. It was in Alaska. And he was talking about everything, and then the weather modification and all of that.
It still stands, by the way. They were shut down, but it's still there.
But there are HAARP facilities now all over the world.
Ding.
They're telling everyone that those facilities are closed, which they are not. They are now popped up all over the world, which makes sense to me now. Now, if you were listening to anything that my co-host was saying, it is a laser. Now, this laser the technology actually came from Nikola Tesla. Okay.
We've discussed him in recent videos.
Which he originally designed this to find crude oil, petrol, everything underneath.
Not using it as a weapon.
Using it as a weapon.
Using it as a benefit.
Right.
Yes.
But then when he discovered that those were their intentions, I think he just kind of left it alone. Right.
No, he destroyed it. He destroyed the plant. Same thing with the Tesla
conspiracy
coils.
theory. Okay, yeah. So
He destroyed his own research.
yeah, he did. And then
That is a big thing. They found tattered notes about it, and that's really the only reason they know
once,
he did it.
once he realized that he just possibly created like the most dangerous weapon in the world, he did not want that to be released or go into the hands of the wrong people, i.e. the government. Anyway, so so they discovered, you can check for all of these natural resources under the ground, because with each layer that laser touches, it resonates a different sound, kind of like if you watch the video
Broadcast
like
a frequency, you could create an entire radar based on that technology to be able to read what it is.
Right. So these documents documenting how this fake alien invasion was going to go down, and it was basically to get all the people of the world who are sheeple on board. By all of a sudden there are these mass UFO sightings, and everyone's seeing them now, which it's a little, it's to like, what do you call it, discredit us, like the community that actually believes in this, and the people that have been trying to tell people that this has been happening for years. So now you have all these people TikToking videos, these UFOs are popping up all everywhere, all sorts of things. I mean, it was there before, but now it's more than ever. And now also
It's an
along with this
oversaturated news market,
right? So,
and once they control, and I hate to be like this, and I don't want to dive too far down the sphere, but they control the narrative. They control what you hear. I'm sorry, that is just the truth.
I mean, every news station in the
unless you
nation
dig deep,
says the same thing.
Yep. Unless you dig deep, you get your surface level thought control.
Yeah. And so now, well, it started maybe about a dozen years ago. People started seeing images in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have people talking about this matrix that we're supposedly in this matrix. And there are...
And that was unfortunately, was it Musk that did that? Elon Musk that suggested that we might actually be a part of a computer simulation?
He wasn't the only one that has suggested that. And
he said that.
There's lots of things that, I mean, and I can understand how people would even think that or go that rabbit hole. Now that if you go down that, that's the point of no return right there. So
you will literally drive yourself insane. Don't do it. Yeah,
you will have to choose your materials wisely in what you read, but connect the dots. Don't live in you cannot live in fear for the simple fact that all of this stuff has been going on behind our backs all these years, and you're still living your normal life. Just be aware. So we have
being woke isn't the same thing as being awake.
Thank you. And that is the truth. Thank you. So we're getting all of these images, videos. I've even seen it on TikTok. People taking videos of planes just frozen in the sky.
The birds. I've seen that here.
We've seen the birds.
Frozen. We have. There's an episode of this show.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch. I don't remember what the name of the episode was. But we talked about it. We specifically talked about it.
Yeah, it was because I think I was sitting at a restaurant and I pointed out the window and I like actually seen.
Yeah.
It was just like
it was just
chilling.
sitting there.
Yep.
So what is holographic and what is not? I mean, we can create these images in the sky, but also I'm so far ahead of myself right now. So it's like it's just all I want to spill out. So
boom.
So
this is enough content to fill 2 or 3 episodes, people. So just get ready, buckle up, and enjoy this ride because it's gonna last a minute.
So with these lasers,
we're gonna
now
learn
with
you
these
something.
facilities all over the world, now we've said how our sky is potentially a television screen. So with all these facilities all over the world, they need to connect the grid. So by connecting the grid, that's coming from these facilities. So now you have a sky that can now act as a television screen. So when you see all of these videos of all of these people,
we don't literally mean a screen of television like a big dome surrounds or a big sphere. Right. That's not what we're talking about.
Thank you, please.
Let me elaborate just a little bit so people have a scientific. Extrapolate. So essentially, our atmosphere works in a reflective format. So anything that any frequency that's beamed, any particular frequency that's beamed at it, that falls in a certain range is reflected back. It operates like a mirror. If you go back into the 1930s and 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, the TV technology, and even today, where it's more digital, which is the difference between a digital and an analog. An analog would transmit a specific signal to your television, and it would reflect it backwards, and then the mirror would turn it so you could actually see it correctly. That's why if you go behind a television screen, it's backwards, because that's actually how it's projected onto the screen so you can see it. So everything that you get is actually filmed backwards, believe it or not. Now, with that being stated, being able to beam an image into the sky to reflect back down and stop at a particular point, it's really not that far outside the realm of possibility.
Yep.
It is absolutely something that can be done. Yep. A lot of times they tell you don't shine lasers up into the atmosphere. Like don't take your giant super little pointer laser and shine it up in the sky, because they've got ones that go up like 20 miles. Mm-hmm. The laser will go that far.
And planes,
don't do
planes
that.
Flying over.
Right, because you could literally hit a particular spot in the atmosphere or clouds, and it will scatter that laser everywhere, and you'll have laser particles bouncing all over the damn place, and it can fry a plane's electronic system. Is it likely? No, because they're shielded, so it's highly unlikely that'll happen, but it can, and it's dangerous, and it's also a federal violation. You can go to prison for it, so don't do it. It's a really stupid idea. But you can absolutely reflect images off the atmosphere, 100%.
So it makes a lot of sense why...
That's not conspiracy, that's fact.
It makes a lot of sense why loads of people are seeing these images in the sky, and it's been for a long while. Now, one of the most popular images, which it's popular amongst this community, but in mainstream, no. But you can go and look it up and look up floating city over China. So once you find this city, then you're going to go down and see how many times they saw this city in China. And they tried to push this off as a mirage. No. And it's a city that no one knows of, that exists nowhere. And it was seen several times over China. Well, now the city was seen over Israel, over Saudi Arabia, and it has even been in California, and it is the exact same city. And there are people standing out taking video of this clearly projected city sitting on top of the clouds. Looks like something from like Dune or something like that.
It's the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, with a Fifth Avenue. Like,
I mean, it's if the Aztecs were still here, the Incas rather, excuse me, the Incans were still here. Sweet mercy, because they have an entire religion based on the floating city.
Yeah, and just look that up. It's there, those cities, and it is the exact same city, like just appearing everywhere. So these images. We have the dancing lights dancing off the clouds. People are seeing that. I just saw a new video of that someone posted last week, and it's just
the
like
biggest
just bouncing
issue
and dancing from
and
cloud to cloud.
This is something I want to point out to our viewers too. So the biggest issue with a reflected image is that it's flat, which means that if it's viewed from specific angles, it does not look right. However, what technology in the last 10 years or so has really taken off? Just really started to climb. You see it. It's all over the place. They've got video game systems that are designed around this particular technology. 3D. And do you know how your 3D imager works? It's two images that are beamed off of mirrors that reflect a particular thing. If the same image is beamed multiple times off of multiple mirrors, you can give it a 3D effect and effectively move it around. And the human eye only views in, particular dimensions. So to the human eye, it looks like it's moving. It looks like it's, and they can do that. And they do it right now. They do it in very small forms.
And I feel like as well, like a lot of the sightings that people have seen as of late, it's not like it used to be. Not saying like aliens are updating their stuff. They're getting rides. they got the new 2021 version.
I mean, they can travel through space. And probably time. And I don't think they care.
Wormholes, whatever. You've seen things, but like it's a little bit different. More often and I've mentioned this orb. You see this orb a lot now, and it just looks like a white ball of light, but then it's flashing. Rainbow colors, holographic. Those are colors, hologram, use the rainbow. You see that everywhere. So many people are taking those, the ones of the, where it looks like something shooting off and then it spirals out. There was one, while I was we saw a UFO on the plane right before landing in LA. Someone actually posted a video of it from the ground as we were seeing it at the same time. And that same week, there were several more in LA. Look up the Battle of LA. That when they shot at
not the UFO, movie.
Not the
There's
movie.
an actual. Don't
So, but which brings me now to now we have a new UFO show program on television, and I think it's called Declassified. And it's starring Luis Elizondo, who worked at the Pentagon, who also witnessed the Tic Tac incident that happened back in 2014.
And she's saying Tic Tac, not the other one.
Back in 2014, 2015, which apparently devastated him so badly that he had to quit his job, but somehow mysteriously ended up with a UAP television show. Unidentified is the name of the show. Excuse me, I have been corrected. But as I'm watching the show, and I'm so excited because I'm all about all the UFO shows that come on. I'm watching the show and I was like, wait a minute. He's not trying to figure out if they're there. He's trying to instill fear into Americans, because right before that, the Space Force program had just been announced, and now all of a sudden we have this television show. Nothing good. There's nothing good, and he's bringing in all the people who were scared to death of what they've seen, or if anybody's has witnessed it. Mm-hmm. All of these people are scared to death. This poor man he will not even come out of his home. And so now he's saying we need to defend ourselves. We need it. They can't just come into our airspace, invade our airspace and instilling fear in people when these things have been coming around for thousands and thousands of years, and guaranteed if they really wanted to hurt us, they've got the technology to do it. We would have been done by now. If anything, they're watching us on a reality show and they're cracking their asses up.
I'm gonna make an addendum here. Advanced technology does not necessarily equal decimation, and I'm gonna use a perfect example.
Please.
I'm gonna use a relative example of that. We have one of the most sophisticated, if not the most sophisticated, military, technologically speaking, in the entire world. China has now surpassed our military, or our Navy, in terms of updated boats and size. However, I feel like that's just a byproduct of their ramp-up effort. Now, on to what I'm getting at here. That we are currently still engaged on two fronts and two different wars in two different countries, and we're staging in several others. However, the one that I want to focus on is Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan as a nation isn't necessarily backwards, but they're easily at least 4 or 5 generations behind the rest of the modern world as far as technology is concerned. Well, not 4 or 5. Let's say 2 or 3. 2 or 3 generations. That's probably more fair. So as a people, their culture is still growing, et cetera, et cetera. Their technology is still advancing. They have some modern weapons, but not really what you would think would do well in a war. The issue is that their guerrilla tactics and their ability to manipulate the land that they are intimately familiar with to give themselves strategic advantages has caused nothing but issues for the most technologically advanced military in the world. So we should have walked in, wiped the floor, and then been done, but we haven't been able to do that. There are a variety of factors, I understand, so please don't jump in the comments box and start trying to lecture me about it, because I don't want to hear it, and I guarantee I know more than you. Sorry. There might be an exception to that rule, and if you're the exception, feel free to chime in. But if not, sit down, shut up. I mean, you can talk.
You know I will.
But technology does not necessarily equal domination. That being stated,
right.
If they can travel light years through space, they could just incinerate the planet, and there's nowhere we can hide from that. So
not a single place.
There is eventually a line that technology wins. They're probably at it.
So it's just so many
An invasion,
things.
we might be able to stand a chance. Decimation or destruction, we're dead. That is the end.
So now we're seeing more people who believe in this phenomena.
I want to believe.
So many more people, and they know the truth is out there. But
because of conspiracies. That's how we know the truth is out there.
So now people are scared. Now we've got the old guys who, was in Vietnam back in the day, talking about killing them some aliens.
Yeah. There are documents of soldiers recounting of killing aliens. Mm. That is a thing that's happened. I didn't ever think I.
But why? I mean, it's just. I would not even accept. We've got movies like Independence Day and.
I mean, name a movie.
Where we come out victorious. We are the victor.
War of the Worlds because we are the world.
We are. One. This is the United States with
right,
its God
really
complex.
Yeah, say War of the Worlds. We really didn't win. They just lost.
I mean, for real.
They're like,
it's more
crap. We can't breathe.
If they're gonna wipe something out, they're gonna be able to do it.
Or a bacteria, and we're dead.
That's it. That's all. We just need some space bacteria. Oh wait, am I giving?
I do like.
I don't want to be giving ideas. We already got the vid.
I do like the little Tumblr post that talked about how aliens might actually view us. Right? They and the reason we see such different ships is because it's literally different species that are coming here. Like we're just a spectacle.
It's the zoo.
Like they show up and they're like, We're the scary stories they tell their kids,
For
right?
real.
Like they look at
We
her like,
have to be.
You see those people down there? They breathe literal fire, like oxygen, because oxygen might be painful and kill them. So like those
Right.
people literally breathe fire and they're okay with it. And not only that, but that fire literally slowly kills them. And they're so defiant and mean that they're like, bring it on. And they literally invented bars where they can test each other to drink that fire. Oxygen bars, for those of you not paying attention. The oxygen bars where they test each other to see who could drink the most fire.
Yes.
Wait a
like,
minute,
and
they
it's
lose a limb and they just keep fighting? That is bizarre.
And that's I mean, I'm sure the whole Galactic Federation is getting together.
Wait,
watching
that dude
these.
fell from the sky, hit the ground, and got up and walked away. Okay, you know what? Humans are terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to. I mean, please. So
We are one of the most resilient species on the entire planet, by the way. Reptiles are the only thing that come close.
Cucarachas.
As far as mammals are concerned, there's not another mammal that's as resilient as we are. If a wolf breaks a leg, dead. He's within a matter of weeks dead. If we break a leg, we're like, hang on, I think I can fix this.
yeah, I think
Yep,
I
that's
can.
good.
Not so much back in the day, but we figured it out. But so now, people are supposed to have fear. So if that sets us up for this alleged alien invasion, just be forewarned. Just let you know.
And the mob will be scared. You're going to try to talk sense to them. They will be scared, and it will be. You can't reason with a mob. You cannot reason with a mob.
No, you cannot. You cannot. So then next is this fake rapture.
Oh, hold on. While we're still on aliens, I want to
Okay.
jump back into HAARP really quick. If you do not think that our government is capable of this or capable of causing weather phenomenon, I want you to please consider for just a moment how many times you hear the government doing nefarious things and how many times they've been caught doing nefarious things. And then I want you to reconsider continuing to grant them more power, but that's just me. But in World War II, this is a paper from New Zealand, by the way. See, we don't get this information because we would be really upset about it. But in New Zealand, there's an article from the Herald that literally says, and I'm quoting this is strictly from the Herald. I pulled it up just so I could see to make sure. Top secret wartime experiments in World War II were conducted off the coast of Auckland to perfect a tidal wave bomb. In World War II. So for those of you that are not familiar with history, that was almost 90 years ago. And you think
Tsunami
a leopard,
bomb.
you think that a leopard changes its spots? You think we just abandoned that project? You think we just stopped as technology continued to grow? And in the 1950s, during Roswell, and then an explosion of technological advances were made.
Microwave.
And then we didn't go back to that particular project that would give us a routine and clear advantage over any island nation that stood against us. No? Okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
You just go back to sleep.
Right.
You're good.
And they still don't know how the pyramids were built. by the way.
Declassified files reveal this information. The United States
we
Defense
know.
Chiefs. The United States Defense
Yeah.
Chief said that if the project had been completed before the end of the war, it could have played a role as effective as that as the atom bomb. Details of the tsunami bomb, known as Project SEAL for people who are actually awake and want to look this up, are contained in 53-year-old documents released by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Oh, look at that. It's on paper. Weird.
Yeah.
Hey, that's enough to make it a credible source for Wikipedia.
It is.
Do
It's
not
on
look
paper.
this stuff about Wikipedia.
So, and again, and actually, I just read down here, I went a little bit further down this page, and it's actually kind of repeated exactly what I said before I jumped in there. I said, if the military secretly developed a weapon which could cause a tsunami well over a half a century ago. Now, this is where you have to be careful. Notice how this is framed. If the military secretly developed a weapon which could cause a tsunami, they didn't develop the weapon that could cause a tsunami. It literally says that they were trying to do it. They were taking wartime experiments. They didn't actually create the tidal wave bomb, according to these documents. But this website framed this statement in a way that makes you feel like they actually created that bomb.
Well, where do you think we got the idea for the Moab?
Oh yeah, no.
And
Hold
stuff
on,
like that, the
I'm
bunker busters.
absolutely not discrediting the existence of said bomb. Now that's very possible.
Right.
I mean, I just got done saying that it's possible, but what kind of advance? The point to really take away from that statement is what kind of advanced deadly weapons might be available now. Here we are, almost 90 years later. What do you think we're capable
I
of?
mean, exactly. I'll tell you what.
Thor.
And by the way,
So we're still talking
these
about
documents just got declassified not
Yeah,
long ago,
yeah.
so
You
there's
guys,
a lot of shit you don't know about.
shit ton of documents online that you can go through.
You should. You guys
but
really should. It's
also,
fun.
Speaking of HAARP and everything, does anyone know what else is going on in the world right now? Anybody?
TikTok?
There are there are 52 active volcanoes erupting at this very moment.
Let's go. I did not have Volcano Apocalypse on my bingo card.
Yeah.
I did.
52
I missed out on a couple
volcanoes
others yet, so
all around the world are erupting at this very moment.
I still have Project Thor on mine.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. It's on mine. Like, I know it's a thing, but volcanoes did not make my list. I was like, dang.
So these
Waiting
volcanoes
for a
are going
kinetic
off
weapon.
from Iceland to Saudi
Arabia.
Hawaii. What is it? What is it called? Mauna Loa.
Moana?
Mauna Loa.
Maui?
Volcano, like 2 volcanoes in Hawaii are erupting. They just had
McKinley
a couple
is
of
showing
earthquakes.
disturbances.
Iceland, that volcano is going off. They are going off all over the world.
Iceland's
not a
gone
single
off
person.
several times.
Yeah, Iceland is an active volcano.
No,
because
not this,
they shut down
this
like
one. Not this
remember
one.
the one that like
Yeah,
blocked-
Eyjafjallajökull. That one went off. That was several years ago. But
I
this
thought
one,
they were all part of the same
This one-
volcanic vent. No, I mean, semantics. They're still at the moment. There's still
Individual.
52
Yeah.
volcanoes
but
that
this,
are
but this
they're active
volcano
at the
that's
moment.
going off has not.
Then dormant,
Since,
and
yeah.
that's the
Yeah, it's
actual
been
issue
dormant.
that we're driving at here is that dormant volcanoes are starting to show.
But they
Signs
are
of
all
activity.
actively like erupting right now. And in Italy, what was it? Etna erupted like a couple weeks ago. Like it is insane. And
But
one of my
we're
friends was
good
like,
until-
"Aren't they supposed to be going off,
Yellowstone.
though?"
Yeah, until
Like, no,
Yellowstone goes.
Yellowstone has been having activity, guys.
That's been happening.
Yeah,
That's been
I
happening
mean,
for
but
30
no,
years.
but not like not.
They've actually started shutting
I mean,
off
it has.
some of the springs because they're now too hot and will kill you within like
yeah,
a minute of being in the spring.
but it's showing like more activity than it normally does. Like, I mean, I know that's why people go to watch the hot springs because it
no, it
burst.
does.
Well, that's what I'm
It
saying. is
burst,
like,
it belched, and everybody's like, "Oh, it belched like hot stuff."
That's technically an eruption, but
you
yeah.
know, like
That's really what it is. Like, it's an
Yeah,
explosion of
like,
hot gas
yeah.
from the volcano.
So,
It's an explosion.
Like that in like
that's what
so-
I'm gonna start calling my trips to the
but
bathroom.
but simultaneously, like these things are going off. I mean, come on now. Come on.
I don't believe in
we
coincidence,
admitted-
so there's a reason for it.
We admitted to the weather modification, and one of their statements was, "Oh yes, we do weather modification, but we were doing it to cool off the hurricanes and slow from the really bad hurricanes. But what they do, they created even worse hurricanes. What was that year where it was 3 of them coming in, one from Mexico, one up into Louisiana,
Now all of a
and one
sudden,
from-
nuke the
like,
hurricanes doesn't
they
sound
were
like
all
that bad
coming
of an
in all at
idea.
they were all coming in at the same time. Have you ever seen anything like
Oh, yeah.
No. So now it's like, man,
we have
or
it-
God.
If we have it, then other countries have it. So you got to figure if if it's not us doing it, it could be China.
Oh,
China.
hands down. Well, China paid like $168 million to modify the weather. You know, now
Who do you think they're going to target with that?
And these sporting events, and I'm still having this issue with the Super Bowl being here, and all of us we're in dead smack winter zero temperatures, and then when Super Bowl Village opens up for 2 weeks, we shoot up to 70 and 75 degree temperatures in January. The day the Super Bowl is over, the next day, I'm sorry if I'm blowing you guys' ears out. The next day is over.
The day we tell her to get a little closer to the mic and she just gets in it.
Yeah, she's
I'm
like,
in it.
she
We
like crawls
plummet
up
back
in it
to
and,
zero.
and just
You
camps.
cannot tell me that the state of Indiana did not pay for
This is
weather
why
modification.
she's fired up. Like, she's ready to rock and roll. She's
I'm
going.
I'm rolling. So now, so we have
Hold
all
on.
of these.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, yes.
He just told
Oh,
me to
yes.
stop.
Oh,
Don't.
yes.
I will
Oh,
never.
it's happening.
I will
It's
not.
happening.
I don't stop.
It's
We
been an
won't
hour.
stop.
It's been
We
an hour.
can't.
We have a
can't.
choice. You got to keep it in. You gotta
No,
keep it in.
I
That means you have to
can't.
show back
I'm
up.
erupting like these volcanoes.
All right, so we're gonna very quickly we're gonna touch on a couple of topics from the next show because, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna take a minute. So we're gonna talk on a couple subjects here. So first thing that we're gonna talk about is T, which is what she wants to talk about right now, which is the fake rapture. She absolutely
I really wanna
wants
talk
to
about
tell
this.
everybody about the fake rapture.
I do.
And the fake rapture is, we're just going to
so
quickly
bad.
just gloss over it, is an idea that is conceived that they are going to attempt to deceive millions of people into believing the second return of Christ, which is prophesied in the Bible. Once that people believe that, they will start to think that it is the end, and they will drop their religious ideals and values, which will cause a ripple effect, which would allow them to pass and do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do. Once you remove the religious value from certain people, then
I think that'd be the exact opposite reaction. I mean, like if you're like, hey, okay, people are being raptured. Okay, maybe I chose poorly and need to jump on that bandwagon.
it's too late.
Okay, so I'll leave you with this question: how do you make loads of people disappear just on the spot?
I don't know. Ask China.
China.
China. They,
They
they made all those
That's what you
cell
asked.
phone users magically disappear.
Yeah, all of a sudden we didn't hear any information coming out of China. That's weird. So we'll also talk about the world's involvement, because you guys got to remember too, as much as you might hate the United States and how terrible they are and all these crazy things that they've done, believe me when I tell you the rest of the world is just as culpable. I
Right,
promise
no,
you.
yeah.
We're not the only ones doing stuff. And then when you look at it from a perspective of, I'll use baseball as an analogy here. All the cheaters in baseball, okay? Lots of people that were using steroids.
All the asterisks.
Yeah, all the asterisks next to people's names. God bless, that's a lot of going on in that sentence. So, all of those asterisks next to people's names, if you were to just make it okay for everybody to use steroids, I know that's I know when you think about it, okay, it's a health thing, and you don't want to do that. But if you're to do that, playing field's leveled again, which we still know is they're cheating. But if everybody's cheating, then it's normal. The world is cheating, so when we cheat, it's normal. If you look at it from that perspective, suddenly
Well, I mean, that's
you
what
realize why we do some of the stuff that we do. It's not because we're being super evil and nefarious, although that is the case sometimes. But it's because the rest of the world is doing the exact same thing, and if you don't keep up,
you
you
get
stop
left
being
behind.
a superpower.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's it. So, lots of stuff to talk about on next week's episode. We have covered a lot of ground tonight. Next week, let's just dive right. Not next week. Excuse me. Next episode, 2 weeks from now. Next time, we'll just dive right in. We won't start with the small talk and talk about Farmer Brown.
Unless you bring another cinnamon cone.
Arkansas. Oh my
His
God!
name was Len, and I'm going to send photos.
Of Lynn or yourself to Lynn.
Me
Both.
standing next
His
to
wife
Lynn.
isn't gonna like that.
Me standing next to Lynn.
I kind of want to see a Brit get into it with a Southern Belle.
National treasure.
So we got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys in 2 weeks. Make sure that you're there. We're going to try to start about the 8 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time right here, geekpublicradio.com, in the historic Union Building in downtown Anderson, in the offices that we have utilized for a few episodes now, and it is beautiful, and we love it.
We're keep
And we
getting
also,
it better.
we keep getting better, keep making improvements, and we also love you guys. You, the audience, you guys make this show, so please consider being a subscriber. If you like the content that you see, drop us a comment on our Discord, even on the YouTube channel if you guys are watching this later. Anywhere that you find your podcasts, we are available. I'm not going to dive into that list because it's absolutely terrible. I have Chris doing sign language to me right now. Why don't you just tell him, Chris?
Don't forget, you can join the website and become a member for $5.
There
Jump
it is.
in, get access to content.
He wants money.
The
No,
live
I'm just kidding. No, there are huge benefits
Yes.
to becoming a subscriber, guys. Like I'm teasing. And $5 a month is really, it's not that much if you
It's like
actually
literally
consider,
buying us a beer once a month.
Yeah, well, I mean, depending on the bar you go to. If we go to an indie bar or a California bar, then it's not even enough for a beer. So consider, again, becoming a member of our channel. That helps us stay ad-free. That helps us stay relevant to the conversation. That helps us to maintain our own platform so we don't have to fall into the jurisdiction of other people who would literally shut down this entire conversation. The conversation that we just had, trying to just level some stuff out for you guys, throwing out some fun facts, we would be shut down. They would demonetize us. They would take us off the air. That's exactly what would happen.
Yes, because it is full of conspiracy theories,
Yes.
and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to put this on YouTube
Right.
as I speak without hitting
it's most
any
likely
flags.
going to get yanked. So it might be up for a couple of days. Check it out when you can. If it's not, it's always available on our website, which is why you should become a subscriber, because you will always be able to access that information. You will always be able to access us through the Discord or through just normal means of
And
commenting.
you can watch
videos.
the show live and actually participate
Yes,
live on the show.
Absolutely. It is so beneficial for you guys. And on top of that, it's beneficial to us. So if you
Like, it
like it,
helps-
want us to support us, then that's what you do.
It helps keep this wonderful new space.
Helps
that we've
keeps
been-
these lights on and make my face
Absolutely.
look this white. If you guys enjoy that, then you guys check us out. Become a subscriber.
Become a subscriber. Help us make him normal looking.
Please, I need a tan. All the money went to rent. I can't get a tan. But on top of that, you guys can still, without even becoming subscribers, you can go on and check out some of the archival footage. You can go onto the website and you can look at the reviews that we have. I just dropped my Valheim review on there. You guys can check that out.
We have
we have a couple movie reviews coming up.
Snyderverse or Snyder
That should be out in a few days. Yep.
and Kong versus Godzilla review coming up.
Yep. So we've got quite a few things coming up for you guys. So be sure to check that out. GeekPublicRadio.com. And from the GeekPublicRadio.com studios, I have been Crazy Chris.
Tenacious Tea.
And Topher the Paranormal Hobo.
You guys have been awesome. Have a good night.
Bye.